want to fill in without actually being on the list screen. But you have to do it in kind of a sophisticated way. So if you don't want to do this, that's fine. Your parentheses are grouping symbols. But above the parentheses, you have braces, which are for sets. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this a set of data? So if I wanted to do something a little bit more quickly here, I could do something like this. Seconds and open parentheses gives me a brace. I'm still going to have to type those numbers somewhere along the line. 2, comma. And your comma is a key that's right above the 7 key. So some of you can use both hands, again with this, pretty easy. And then 5, comma, and 8, comma, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 5, 6, 3, 9, 4, 5, 3, 7, 3. And it's rolling across the screen. And if you've got one of the newer 84s, it's not rolling across the screen, it's scrolling. So you don't see all the data. But the old 83s do a carriage return so you can see all the data at one time. So I got 3, 6, comma, 2, comma, 4. End of list.
You skipped one.
Okay, so what did I skip?
After 373, it's not 3624.
373. 36.
1, 3.
It's just 3731.
Oh, okay, I missed the 1 in there, okay? Well, the good thing about that is I can put that 1 really anywhere that I want. But if I want to make it be a perfect match, this gives you a visual to be able to see all the data at one time, so you don't have to scroll through your list. But if you got the newer model, you got to scroll left and right, which it'll let you do. So I have to insert something in here. So I needed a 1 and another comma in there, right?
And a 3.
Another 3.
And another 3, and a comma, okay? So now I'm at the end of the list, and I close the list with another brace. And now I'm going to store this list into the calculator. If I enter now, the calculator will display those numbers right back to the screen, but it will remember them. So if I store this, I can then tell it where I want to go. List number 1. One of the advantages of doing this is this contains both an erase list number 1 and put this in on top of that. So if there was something in list number 1, when you say you want to store, it doesn't just store the first 12 values or 20 values in there. It takes all of list number 1 and erases it for you and puts a fresh new list inside of there. Now, those values, oops, I should have actually done something like this. Let me do this. Let me go back to stat now. Edit. There's stuff in list number 1 now, right? List number 1 is now gone, correct? Okay, let me come back to the home screen now. If I duplicate this command again and say do the same thing again, you saw me take the stuff out of list number 1. All that information is in there right now. It's just a different way to be able to get the information in. If it's a small list or a large list, some of you might like to be on this screen and go down through. I like to stay off of the screen as much as I can because I can't see all the data. I have to scroll. But then you saw already when I'm putting it in sideways, it's kind of difficult for me to keep track of what's going on. So the comma replaces an enter key, but you can still screw up. You still have the need to be able to calculate. So now, stat, calculate, 1 variable statistics, directing it toward whatever list you used in the problem. It's still going to generate the same information. So now, standard deviation. Now look what happened. This was a 20-piece set of data, and look at these standard deviation values. See how they start to collapse upon one another? They're getting a little bit closer because the larger data set you get, the closer it is to a population of the problem. If I were going to round this to 1 decimal place as is suggested, I could actually pick up either one of those values because they're both going to round to 2.2, aren't they? But you want to be careful with that and make sure that you pick up the right one. So you should be looking at the S of X value every time we deal with the problem, not even using that sigma of X value. I don't need anything, it's on the second screen. There's nothing there that I really have to worry about. So, G, how long is it going to take us to figure out to put this stuff into the calculator and calculate? Probably not long at all, right? Okay. Same kind of operation? Do I still have to